Good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing this morning? Thank you so much for that awesome presentation. And Tofara and Loveness, I'm so happy for you. Congratulations. Can we give them a hand? You're an amazing team. You know, I've known these ladies for years, so it's so amazing to see what they're doing in our communities. We really, really appreciate you. So good morning, everyone. Tofara gave me a task to speak about digital branding in 15 minutes. Honestly, you know, the whole evening when I was preparing, I was like, what do I leave out? Because honestly, I am going to touch a few things for you, but to let you know that digital branding or branding in general, it's a whole journey, but we will start it together, okay? We can begin. So I'm sure you've heard about me. I'd love to say hello to everyone in the room first. So I'm Tutsirai Jenje, and I'm a brand building coach. I basically help entrepreneurs like yourself to be able to build signature legacy brands that sell, okay? And what I do is I help you gain confidence to step out into your market with beautifully designed graphics and also targeted messaging that catches the attention of your ideal client. Because if you're going out with any form of branding, if your ideal client is not seeing you, we haven't begun, all right? So we're gonna get started, and I'm going to really hope that I manage to touch as much as I can. So, first and foremost, you've got to understand as you step out into any market, there is so much that is going on. Everything is fighting for your attention. When you're looking at your senses, whether it's sight, whether it's hearing, whether it's taste, whether it's aroma, whether it's a sense of touch, everything is fighting for your attention. So what the human brain does, it decides to shut some things out. So if you notice, when you go online, how many have seen adverts popping up on your machine? And how many have done what I do sometimes, and close it, right? That is your brain trying to cope, because daily people are bombarding you with information. So it's not all information you want. So what your brain does, it closes off some information so that it can cope. So what I want to teach you is to make sure that you get in front of your ideal audience, but they're able to get your message before you leave. How many of you have met someone before, they introduce themselves, by the time they leave you, you have no idea what they do? Anyone? I've met so many people, they introduce themselves, they look amazing, they sound amazing. When they leave, I'm like, Vanite? You don't know what they do. Because it's a one-stop shop, right? We do everything. We help everybody. There is no such thing. You must have your target audience. So, as we move on, a brand. Now, I want to just smash some myths this morning, okay? A brand is not a logo. A brand is not marketing. A brand is not the music, that jingle that plays before any of your whatever it is that you're doing, okay? A brand is not a logo. And a brand, even before you begin, I know there's a young lady who was saying she's representing an idea this morning. What I want you to know is a brand is not a logo. You, whether you started, whether you've been there for 10 years, whether you're starting tomorrow, all of you in this room already have a brand, okay? And whether you're big or small, you already have a brand. So what is a brand? A brand is a perception. Everyone, whether you've started, whether you've already been selling, everyone has a perception. And everyone has the power to build the perception that they want. So I want you to know, when you go out, it's not like your brand is just going and you have no control over it. Okay? You do. You have the power to create the type of brand that you want, okay? And the type of brand that will really serve your target audience. So if it's a perception is the way in which something or someone is regarded, understood, or interpreted, okay? So if you go out into your market, there are things that your market is going to start speaking back to you. That is what their perception of you is. So you've got your brand, which is a promise as well. You're promising people to be a particular something, right? Your market must fully understand the perception that you want to build. not the perception that they want, the perception that you want to build. So always make sure you check so that you're all on the same page. I was talking to Tofara earlier, saying I found out the most shocking news the past few weeks, where online, because I'm an online course creator, I teach women from all over the world. They, for some odd reason, thought I was coming from Nigeria. I think I was selling Loveness. And I said, Nigeria? Why do people think I'm coming from Nigeria? So the minute I started checking certain things, for those who follow my posts, I started really drumming issues about Zimbabwe, issues about this is what I am, what I'm about, because I noticed that in my market, they thought I was Nigerian. Why? I don't know. But you are able to still come back and fix any perception that is within your market, all right? So let's move to the next one. So I'm going to give you 3 steps, because we've got 15 minutes, so I'll do 3 steps that can help you build a strong digital brand. Now, when I say a strong digital brand, a brand is a brand. I'm just saying digital because my assumption is most of us are looking to step into the digital space, okay? So be clear what you want to build. Just like any time or anything that you're doing, nobody builds anything without knowing what the foundation is. Are you building a hotel? Are you building a small little cottage? Are you building? What are you building? Because that will determine the type of foundation that you put. I'm going to give you a quick tip that a lot of people don't know. So you guys are going to get, higher than any other entrepreneurs out there. I'm going to give you a secret. When you're building a brand, you need to determine 2 things. Are you building a branded house, or you are building a house of brands? Someone say branded house. Then say house of brands. A branded house. This is when you have one brand and everything, multiple facets fall under it. For example, we all know FedEx, right? There's FedEx Freight, there's FedEx. FedEx has got so many FedEx, the normal one, the FedEx Freight, FedEx Fast, FedEx Quick, but everything has got the name FedEx and whatever it is in front of it. That is a branded house. Everything falls under one house. The second one is what we call a house of brands. This is something that you can see like Unilever. Unilever has got multiple brands that are independent of each other, okay? So they've got Dove soap, they've got Knoll soup. If you see all their brands, they've got Domestos. If you see all their brands, you actually won't know that they come from the same company. So that is when you have a house of brands, where there are many brands. They may not be connected, they may have different logos, different colors, but it's all the same brand, okay? So if you are clear about what you want to build, you may not have the many things you're doing now, but look at your brand right now. Where is it going? 25 years from now, what do you want to build? So don't just wake up, go to a designer, design this for me. I need to get it out tomorrow. Think about it. Think about legacy. A legacy brand is something that lives for 25 years and beyond. You look at your Coca-Colas, your Nikes, your Googles, right? So be clear about where your brand is going, because when you're clear about where it's going and what you want to build, you will set up something that is a strong foundation, okay? What do you want to be known for? Of course, those are things you've got to be clear. I would encourage you, as you're stepping out at the beginning, it's not always a good idea to have multiple ideas you want to sell all at once, because people won't know what to connect you with. So I'll give you as an example. Yes, I do brand building, but I do so many, people who know me, I do so many other things. I mean, I sing for people on their videos. I do different things. But if you go online to search me, everything is about brand building. Once you've built your name and it makes sense, you'll find that it's easy for you to go and do anything, right? I mean, Beyonce right now, if she were to start having a clothing line, which she has, or something else, we're not going to be confused. I mean, her name is now she's gone beyond you understanding what she's about. So let's not step out into our markets with that same mentality. okay? We are still building ourselves up, so be clear about what you do. And then who does your brand bring the most value to? That's the next thing we're going to. Your ideal client. Now, the next slide, one of the things I've seen, all of the students I've taught, all of the students I've taught who come through our courses, one of the things I've noticed, this module is the one we stop on for 2 weeks because people get confused on here, okay? So what happens on this ideal client stage? I know so many people who say my product is for everyone. And I know you in this room. I'm just gonna help you a little bit, okay? When you say your product, it's possible for your product to begin to impact everyone, right? That is very possible. Look at Google. Who do we say Google is for? Look at Facebook. Who do we say Facebook is for? Confirm those, that's everyone. But I want you to know something. When Google stepped out into the market, it actually wasn't for everyone. How Google worked, it was actually birthed in a college where researchers saw that it was difficult to go to the library, get research, and then another researcher comes, and then they don't have the content you found. So what they did is they created this portal, Google, it wasn't even called Google then, and they began to put their research on there. So it became easier for researchers in college to say, if they want to continue a research, they just go and they find the information. And they go on and they add to it. That's how it began. But because it served that ideal client very well, right? What you found is it began to spread until Google has become something totally different. Yes, they are now impacting everyone, but they started where? With an ideal client. Let's go to Facebook. Facebook again, in college, it was actually used for people to vote who's the most attractive person in college, okay, at Harvard. They would put 2 pictures of people and then you would press a like. Whoever would have the most likes would win. I know it then crashed their system and that whole story, but it started with an ideal client. And as they began to serve that ideal client well, it began to spread. So for you, as you step out and you say, I serve everybody, what you're going to find, number one, that is going to stretch your budget. How are you going to get to everybody? Then how are you going to speak everybody's language? All at the same time. You're going to speak to men, you're going to speak to women, you're going to speak to little boys. So what I want you to understand is there is such a thing as an ideal client. If you're selling to everyone, you're selling to no one. When you send something out, it's very possible to have multiple ideal clients, because for people who have products especially, it's a whole speech for another day. But you can have multiple ideal clients. But when you see something that goes out and it's saying that it's just going to everyone, for you to see the results you want, you may find it very difficult. Okay. And then the last thing I want to speak on there is fall in love with your ideal client's problem, not falling in love with your solution. What I mean by that is, some of us, we go away, we come up with a product, we're so happy with it. We do the colors for it, we create it, then we bring it to the market and we force them to buy it. We say, this is what you want, this is what you need. But what I want you to know is, if you fall in love with your ideal client's problem, as their problem evolves, so does your brand. So you will remain relevant. You won't have a situation where people really love what you're doing, but they have after a while, you're not serving them in a relevant space. So I loved that question to say, 63% of Zimbabweans are now online and your product is offline. I had to do that accent because, it feels like that, like your product is offline. but I'll move on. And then the understanding, okay, so now we're going to be your ideal client. You're online right now. I don't know if they're able to dim the lights so everyone can see, because we're going to play a game quickly. Now that, right now, we're going to be your ideal client right now. You're on your computer, you're searching. Now I want you to listen to the story. So, all of a sudden, our first lady has said, you in particular should get her flowers. You sitting there. And then you have no clue where to get these flowers. So you jump online and behold, 2 flower shops pop right there. You don't know them? Now tell me, can you put your hand up if you're going to shop A? No one is going to shop A. Can you put your hand up if you're going to go to shop B? How strange. So as you're sitting there right now, you don't even know these people, and you've decided you are getting flowers for the first lady from shop B. Hey, okay, let's go to the next one. Your car, you just, got a gift from me. And it's an amazing car that's come, right? You've got this car, and they've said no, but it needs to come to the garage, get everything fixed, get everything in place, then you can drive away with it. There we are driving in town. And you see these 2 banners that are there. Now tell me, how many of us are going to garage A? Because I would love to meet you. Okay, how many are going to garage B? Now this is so strange. We're all sitting together in here. You don't even know me that well. I don't know you that well as yet. And we're all choosing to go to garage B. Now imagine I'm sitting in front of my computer. Your logo pops up. You have to make a decision. And are we having a B experience when we look at you, or are we having an A experience? Yeah, the silence is amazing. All right. But I just wanted to show you the power of what visuals can do. If visuals can help you make a decision, be intentional when you go online. Try by all means to make sure that your stuff looks professional. And then we move on. How am I doing? I'm already over. 1 minute, okay. So how to stand out online. I'm going to rush through this. Always answer these questions when someone comes onto your page or whatever it is that you're doing. Who, as in who are you? Let's always see your name nice and clear. What are you offering? Where is it? Where can these people locate it? When, if it's an event or something you're doing, when is it happening? Why? The benefit must always come across. What is this person going to get out of being with you? And of course, how? How do they engage with you? Okay? And then moving to the last one, have a strong online brand identity, which is obviously your clear logo. Be sure about your colors. Be sure about fonts. I'm so sorry I'm rushing through all these, but these are elements that assist your brand online. Layout. So the last thing I'm going to speak about quickly is layout. I'm just going to give you a tip that you can tell your designer if you're not the one designing, or you do it. When each and every person who's reading, most of the percentage in this world, they use what is called the Z shape that you can see up there, where we move our eyes from number 1, 2, 3 to 4. So now I want to encourage you, because someone has only 3 seconds most of the time to see what you've sent out, to stop them in their tracks. Make sure that the stuff you put online is easy and laid out in such a way that we can see what you're talking about, all right? So if you look at the flyer that's on the right, I'm showing you the placement. Most designers, and I just went online and searched it. It's no designer in particular, but most designers, we're always taught this. Make sure you assist people's eyes to move around whatever it is that you put out there. And on those 1, 2, 3, 4, those are points that the eyes always rest longer than anywhere else. So make use of making sure that on those places you put the most important things, either your logo, either your phone number, even your website. It helps for someone to rest longer on the most important information. But yes, I know I've rushed through it, but thank you so much for your time, and it's amazing to be here. Thank you.